And welcome to the first ever post-game wrap-up here on PoconoSnow.org after a tough loss here tonight, 2-0 to FC Hershey in MPSL play. I'm Matt Catrillo, the assistant press officer here for the Pocono Snow, and to my left is our public address announcer and the press officer himself, Mr. Jim Shoopack. And Jim, a tough loss for the Snow here tonight. Now 0-1-1 on the year, and Hershey goes to 3-0. And now you look in the standings. I know we're only 2 games into the season, Jim, but the Snow find themselves 8 points behind Hershey now in first place for the in the Keystone Division.
Yeah, it was really a tough match, especially considering how well we played in the first half of the FC Reading game, and in that respect, I think we kind of carried into the second half and into this game. It just seemed like the guys weren't 100% prepared in that respect. Just didn't have the motivation and the I don't know what you want to call it, but the get-go in that respect. You know, it looks like because of Thursday's practice potentially being canceled, that it might have had something to do with the the effort that we saw here tonight. You know.
And we mentioned in the first half, right from the get-go, Hershey dictated this, especially the offensive possession in the first 15 minutes. The Snow only with 1 shot on goal through the first 15 minutes. The shots on goal were even at 2-2 at the end of the first half, but as the game went on, Jim, Hershey had a lot more scoring chances than the Snow did. And when the Snow did have some scoring chances, again, they couldn't finish, just like the game last week.
Yeah, and it seemed like the quality of opportunities, like we were talking up in the press box, was definitely in favor of Hershey. Like, they seemed to have the better chances. And really, after Bob Pippich went down for a little while there, it looked like he was going to come out of the game. That's when they finally did put the hammer away in that respect. And who knows if maybe Joe could have come in. Joe Height's been the backup goalkeeper, but Bob's been solid every time he's played with the Snow. So it's tough to question the Warrior instinct that he has, really, when you think about it. And he's the type of player, he's going to stay in unless he has a broken leg or basically the doctor tells him, no, you got to come off.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And you mentioned Bob Pippich's injury coming in the early second half, at the 10th minute mark. He come out for a block, hard collision with the Hershey player, and he was down. He was out for the count for at least 5 to 10 minutes. But the clock kept going. They actually stopped play, and it looked like Joe, or the backup goaltender, was coming in, and then Pip decided to stay in there. So he came in there, did a good job, but after the game he was very upset with the players, and now he's on his way to the hospital since he can't see out of his left eye. So his status is uncertain, as you'll hear from Coach Sheska next here on the postgame show here on PoconoSnow.org. So that's obviously a tough injury because Bob is one of the leaders on this team, Jim.
Oh, without a doubt. He's the vocal leader, and especially doing the good job that the goalkeeper's supposed to do, and just by leading the team and essentially, I just know from all the goalies that the Snows have had, I would have to say Bob's definitely the best one that we've ever had. And you've been with us for 4 out of the 5 years, right, Matt. So, I mean, what do you think about more or less how Bob's been doing?
Oh, I think he's been solid. Like you mentioned, Jim, he made a lot of tremendous saves. The one he got hurt on was something he's done all the time. And he's constantly talking, make sure the guys are in shape and doing what they're doing out there. But it just did not come together tonight. Yeah. Which leads me to my next question. Plain and simple, Jim. I think Wednesday is a must-win. They have Bucksmont Torches coming in here. The Snow have done well against Bucksmont in the past. Bucksmont's still relatively new to the MPSL. I think this is definitely a must-win on Wednesday.
Oh, it definitely is. And if you remember, Hershey has 9 points now in the season, and the Snow after 2 matches has 1 point. So you really need to get those 3 points to at least give yourself 4 points going into the next match. I mean, if not, I hate to say that it could be an ugly season, because I don't want to think that way, but at the same time, the way, especially with home games and the fans coming, you definitely want to give them a good show, and they got one in the first match today. Just something wasn't wrong, something wasn't clicking.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the Snow will have 1 practice on Monday before they come back here at home to play the Bucksmont Torch on Wednesday night. The game you can see right here from Island Stadium at 7 o'clock. And, of course, you can have coverage of the game right here on PoconoSnow.org. That's been our first edition of the post-game wrap-up. The Snow fall 2-0 to Hershey FC. For Jim Shoopack, I'm Matt Catrillo. Have a great night, Snow fans. All right, Coach, tough loss here, 9-0 loss to Hershey. Got a team that was new to the conference, but they came out here and played a great game, and it just seemed like the team was just well off than it was last game.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't play as well as we did last game, that's for sure, certain if you're watching the game. And I'm not sure why. we broke down all ends, and defensively in the middle of the field, we didn't take care of our chances up top. We just didn't play well. I'm not quite sure why, but it was a collective effort. So that's something that we have to think about over the weekend, and we have to make changes to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But you have to give credit to Hershey. Hershey's a very good team. They're undefeated. There was 1 or 2 chances we would have put away. Could swayed the game a different way. They would have had to play differently. But again, every game's a different game. We have to really look at a challenge and make the proper changes.
You guys had a lot of close chances, but again, it was like that close no cigar type thing.
Yeah.
Did that really play a factor mentally in the second half?
I think so. I mean, after we withstood the win the first half, and I thought the second half it would be a whole different story. I thought we would. Take control of the game. That didn't happen. So, we have to look at why. Again, there was when it was 0-0, we had that one chance coming in. I thought we were going to finish that one. Now that goes in, it's 1-0, and they scored just right after that. So now if it's 1-0 our end, then we play differently, they play differently, and the result would probably be different as well. So that's the game of soccer. You got to take care of your chances. If you don't, you pay for them.
Is Bob going to be okay, do you think, for Wednesday?
I don't know. Hopefully we have to see what happens. He's going to go to the hospital and get checked, and hopefully he'll be okay.
Last thing I have for you, Coach. Now with this loss here tonight, you guys still remain with 1 point in the standings. I know it's still a young season, but now Hershey's now 3-0. They have 9 points on the season. So is Wednesday a must-win game?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a must-win. It's a game that we have to play well, and we want a good result. We want to come out of there, hopefully with a win, but certainly not with a loss. So I think the guys will rise to the occasion. It seems like they're upset with themselves that the game didn't go the way they wanted to play, and I think we'll come out and play well Wednesday.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.